Sometimes you're dressed in very weird things when you get phone calls. Yeah. That's one thing about our job.
I've never read a script like this before that felt like a new genre.
I mean, I saw Amy Poehler's name on the breakdown and I thought, yeah, definitely want to be a part of that.
She is a beast. She gives off Moxie everywhere she goes.
This is education. Welcome to Crash Course. Alycia, take it away, my professor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Poehler. I'm the director of Moxie. This is Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table, and I'm with the incredible cast of Moxie, and we're going to talk about the film. So I'm going to introduce everyone. Playing Seth is Nico Hiraga. Playing Kiera is Sydney Park. Playing Mitchell is Patrick Schwarzenegger. Playing Vivian is Hadley Robinson. Playing Amaya is Anjelika Washington. Playing Lucy is Alycia Pascual-Peña. Playing Claudia is Tsai. And in the middle square, playing CJ is Josie Totah.
Hey, Mom, what do 16-year-olds care about?
When I was 16, all I cared about was smashing the patriarchy and burning it all down.
Oh, my God.
Girls constitute a revolution.
I guess I'd love to ask you, I think I've asked you all this in different ways, but America would like to know, what about the story initially hooked you? Why did you want to be a part of it?
I think it's because when I first read the script, I mean, the first thing that hit me was that I've never read a script like this before that felt like a new genre, where it wasn't just a teen high school movie, but it was also about feminism and concrete ideas that exist in the world, and exploring those ideas through the medium of a teenage film. And that was really new to me. And I thought that was intriguing because it's a way to access a different audience, but bringing up important ideas that should be spread. So I thought that was really cool. And that was the first thing that hit me. It's also just fun. It's a very fun story. So
I think the first thing that hooked me in was seeing a character that was so fleshed out. There was so much to her. And I saw that simply from the breakdown. And then when I had the pleasure of reading the script for the first time, I was like, this is something I have to be a part of because of the important themes, because of the joy within it and how multidimensional the story was. So the fact that I had the privilege and honor to breathe life into the character and the journey that I did was a blessing. But specifically seeing these women come together and really use their voice, but distinctly show the different nuances of womanhood and seeing activism on a spectrum is what really drew me in. And then there was so much more that I fell in love with after fully reading the script.
I love too that this movie, like, it features this group of beautiful young women, but it's not at all focused on like the way that they look. And I feel like growing up, like I didn't really see a lot of movies that weren't constantly coming back to the like who the girl is in the eyes of a man, or who like how she looks or what her stereotype is. And I think that it's beautiful that this movie is really focused on the power of these individuals and how different and diverse they are, and how strong they are when they come together.
You know that your school is weird, right?
Ignore Mitchell. If you keep your head down, we'll move on and bother somebody else.
I'm gonna keep my head up. High.
If I'm completely honest, I mean, I saw Amy Poehler's name on the breakdown and I thought, yeah, definitely want to be a part of that.
Stole my line.
And then I read it and I was like, oh, wow, I really want to be a part of that. Go ahead,
stole the words out of my mouth. I think
really?
When I first got the audition, I don't even think there was much. I don't think there was a script. I don't think there was material. I think at first I didn't even know, or actually I think the first audition, Amy wasn't there. And then the second one, I remember them listing like 20 people's name that was going to be in the room. And I was like, oh boy. And then I saw Amy's name, and obviously I'd seen that she was part of this, adapting this book and producing and directing and also starring in. So I was just pumped to get to try to go into a room to work opposite of Amy, and then to obviously, once I got more in depth in this project and got to read the script and learn a little bit more, was ultimately bringing this message out. But I'm a big believer when it comes to work, whether that's acting or other forms of work in life, of really getting to learn from some of the best. You know, I love the term "learn from the best" to become your best, and to get to learn from someone like you, Amy, as an amazing actress, and then as an amazing female producer, and then as a female director. There was just so many amazing things for me to learn from you and get to work with you. That was just a dream come true to work on this project.
Amy, it's phenomenal seeing your name on it, but also the first thing I saw was Allison Jones. And that's why I was like, oh, Allison Jones is casting. So I was like,
Yeah, let's tell everyone who Allison Jones is for people.
Allison Jones is a saint. She's a phenomenal casting director. She's a legend. She is a beast. She gives off Moxie everywhere she goes. Allison Jones is tight.
So incredible. Love her so much.
Me and my friends protested everything. We made a ton of mistakes, but you're glad you did it all right. Of course. What are you gonna do? Nothing?
Whoever wrote Moxie is a badass.
You know, whenever I hear stories about casts get together, I do love audition stories. Does anyone want to share their feeling of auditioning? Was it good, bad? Do you remember have any feelings about it?
Yeah, auditioning was crazy. I think we mostly all went in for the part of Vivian, which is your child. And it was cool. That was during the summer. I went into Allison Jones's office and then I didn't hear anything. And I remember working on my set in Vancouver on There's Someone Inside Your House. And one of my castmates was auditioning for Moxie. And I was like, oh, they're still doing auditions. That's awesome. And the last week of filming, my agent called me and was like, hey, Amy Poehler is a fan of you. And I was like, you got to go back because I don't know what you're talking about. She knows who I am. I don't know what you mean. And they were like, they want you to go in for another part. Kiera, she's a soccer star. And I was like, yes. So my friend and co-star, Asia, came into my apartment and we did the self-tape. And my last day of filming, I was doing this like awful hazing scene on the beach. It was so cold. I had the words bitch like written on my forehead. And my agent called me at like 9:00 at night. I was like, what's up, guys? And they're like, you booked Moxie. So that was definitely a blessing. And I was just happy to roll right into another amazing project with all of you.
It's wild that was on your head when you got the call.
I had like eggs on my face and there was like dog food put all over my clothes. It was horrible. I felt awful. But then I felt good. Praying for you.
That's a wild one.
Fun part of our work is that sometimes you're dressed in very weird things when you get phone calls.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about our job.
It says to draw hearts and stars on your hands to show support. That's hot.
All the boys here could use all the help that they can get.
You know, we know that this film is a YA film with big feelings, a big message. And, you know, at the end of the day, we've all talked about how it's a human film. It's about, someone's personal journey. It's about friendship. It's about love, allyship, all that stuff. But of course, the big theme is, how has the feminist movement evolved through the years? And, there's so many things to take away from the film, but what would be something you guys would want people to take away from? What is something they shouldn't miss?
One thing that I love that I've had the opportunity to speak to every person on this cast with, that I think we all share mutually, is the intersectionality of feminism that we get to celebrate, and really including everyone and making sure that there's no one who feels alone, or people who do feel alone can see themselves in every character in this film. So I'm really excited about that. I know that all of y'all can elaborate more on that, but that's definitely one thing that I'm really excited for.
Can you guys, for people who might not know what intersectionality really means, terms get thrown around a lot, and I think sometimes people need to hear again what that means. Would anyone want to speak to that?
Alycia, do you want to give your story? The most intersectional woman I've ever met.
I'm also over here like, please explain it to me.
This is education. Welcome to Crash Course. Alycia, take it away, my professor.
Thank you, Josie Joe. No, for sure. I think that is such an important thing to say, Amy. Thank you. I commend you, and I'm just so inspired by your continuous commitment to having these conversations. And I think that's a taboo conversation that people are very fearful to say, I don't know what that means. And then they just go along with it, which is, disingenuous, but I get it. It's the human condition to not want to feel ostracized and not know what something means. So it's powerful that we can have these conversations and debunk the fear and anxiety that goes around it. Intersectionality is the idea of fighting and having the movement of feminism, but also understanding the nuances of people's different experiences of being a woman. So although that we face the same patterns of oppression and have to live under the infrastructure of what is a patriarchy and deal with the implications of that and deal with the implications of misogyny and classism and the microaggressions that come with that, there are other components such as socioeconomic status, or geographically, or your race, or your sexuality that add to your experience as a woman and cause you to move and navigate throughout the world and navigate through social injustices and oppression differently. So in my personal experience, although that we all have the camaraderie of being women, I specifically have my own distinct journey of being a Black Latina woman from the Bronx. And the same way that I couldn't relate to someone else whose womanhood I may not personally identify with, but I'd want to learn and grow and hold myself accountable so that we could all be united and further the needle in progression and equality and equity.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I would love to know who started Moxie.
And who will they go after next?
This seems like a women's issue, and I'm going to stay out of it.
If you're doing nothing, then you're part of the problem.
Noticing someone filming right now, and I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Question is asked a lot all the time, but I don't know, maybe someone has a fun answer to it. What was a really fun moment for you on set, whether it was on screen, behind the scenes, and what was a scene or a moment that was difficult for you to do?
I mean, the dance party scene, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but that was just so much fun. Everybody looked so good, and truly, like, everybody, the way people were dressed, it felt like their true personalities could come through the clothing, and there was a freedom that came with that. And we just had such a good time, and I think it shows, and I think it's a great way to end the film as well. Yeah, everybody just being really free, and it was just super fun. Everybody looked really good.
Yeah,
you guys looked phenomenal in those clothes. Also, by the way, I wish I was dressed up in something like that. It was so sick.
We wish we could dress up in
look
something like that
super
too.
sick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's put Nico on drag. I'd like to see that.
We would.
Yes. Incredible costume. Kirsten Mann is our incredible costume designer, and she worked with everybody to be like, what would your character like feel the most comfortable dancing in, and what would be their real like butterfly, if you will. So that for those of you that haven't seen the film yet, there's a really almost fantasy like dance scene in it. Anyone else?
I definitely loved the football scene. It was not only difficult because we were on location and everybody was really sick and it was really cold, but we had our incredible crew and team taking care of us and making sure we had hand warmers and that we were all warm and you know, being good to each other. But it was also an emotional scene for the girls. I won't give anything away, but it was tough on us. And I feel like we got closer when we were just sitting in our cast chairs. We were all together having really good conversations and just keeping it light so that we could deliver our best to the material. And I loved that. It was good.
And I also really loved the scene. I think it was like the last scene that we shot when we had that big party. But that was such an incredible day because it was so sad, but so happy at the same time. And I think that was when it was really hitting us that like we did this and we made it through and we made all these incredible friendships and we did all this crazy shit. And that's like one of my favorite memories that night, just feeling really alive. Like time kind of stopped in that moment.
Does the rap party count? Because that was lit. It was
The rap party was so fun. The rap party.
Rap party was super rad. Pat, we missed you, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna do another version because that is the one thing that I think we all can agree on. Like once is
I'll bring it. Oh.
What are you jerry rigging over there?
I'm logging over. Can we just appreciate the cereal?
The Rice Krispies.
Laptop is on 3 boxes of Rice Krispies.
You're my hero.
You got to work with what you got. I was gonna say I'll bring the disco light.
Yes.
On brand.
Yes. We love a disco light. Yes.
Crazy.
We're in it now, everybody. Let's do it.
Hey, ladies first. Or can I say that? Or do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Now, I have to say, this isn't really a question, but I'm just going to say it and EW can use it or not. But, you know, I've been in a couple times in my career, I've been in a film where there's been a bunch of people together in the film. And then people are like, can you believe they were all in the same film together at the same time? And I just have to say, I feel like that's what Moxie is. I feel like you're all such incredible actors, and we're lucky to be catching you in this moment in time to be in this film together. And I have no doubt that you're all going to work together in different ways and be each other's support systems and in so many different ways. But I look forward to the, when we're all broadcasting from the moon 20 years from now, and EW is doing your about Moxie, because I genuinely feel this is a cast that we were just so lucky to get together at this point in time. So
agreed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I say it all the time. What we have here is cosmic, and I never take that for granted. Shout out to you and shout out to Netflix. I don't know how y'all curated this group of people, but I'm grateful. It changed my life, and it is very much magic and cosmic. So thank you, Amy.
Don't keep secrets from me. I'm actually already pregnant. It's a very funny joke, right?
Yeah. And the last thing is there's going to be young men and women who are watching this, who maybe read the book or, are fans of your work and are watching this, and maybe feel like they want to participate or find their voice or just be more of themselves, whatever that is. What would you say to those young, tender-hearted souls who are watching? What do you want them to know about what's ahead, or what do you want to say to them?
I think that the moment you stop caring about what other people think about you is the moment that you truly step into your truth. And I think listening to yourself can be the most important thing and can be very difficult when growing up with so much noise. So I think I would just tell them to listen to themselves.
I hope that they know that the world needs you and wants you to be you. In all the failures and successes that you have, it's a beautiful thing to be proud of, to fail also. I feel like people don't say that a lot, but so important. So good.
I want these souls to know that your purpose is to just be yourself. And in a day and age where we're consumed so much with social media and comparing ourselves, and we're taking in so much information all the time, all day, just know that your purpose here in this moment is to be yourself, and that you're not alone. And sometimes if you feel lost, that's okay too. And we can all walk through the valley together and come out better. It doesn't have to be this lonesome journey at all.
Beautiful.
I think another big aspect of this film, and I hope a lot of people take away, whether they're young or older, is how important one voice can be and where it really starts. I think that, obviously with Moxie starting by Vivian and slowly grabbing the whole school's attention, but it starts with one person. And I think that it's hard to understand that when you're not feeling like your voice is heard, or that you're not meaning, your voice doesn't have meaning, or it can't have impact, but it always really does start with one person. To stand up and to really speak out what you feel can lead to such a large, school-wide movement, citywide, countrywide movement, or worldwide movement for that matter. But it always does start with one.
And off of that, Pat, I love what you said. I don't even know if it necessarily is Vivian as that one. I think she's such a listener that she's truly listening to the people around her. And it's an accumulation of like the people she surrounds herself with that prompts her to create this zine in a way. And so I think my thing would be just like always listen, especially to the people you love and respect. And, maybe that'll prompt you to be that one or whatever. But yeah, I think keeping your ears open to the people around you and, staying open in that way, open-hearted and just listening.
Especially as allies, that's our only job, is to listen and to learn and to unlearn and to uplift the voices. And just as Vivian takes a step back and allows, the people who come from disenfranchised communities to take center stage and really spearhead this movement along with her, she also learns, about herself and the people around her. So I think that's so important. It's such a great example of allyship. And I hope that young, girls and boys that maybe weren't introduced to new experiences and different identities, that they can too learn how to be a better ally.
Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you to EW. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this. And check out Moxie March 3rd on Netflix. And we really hope you like it because it was a real joy to make.